What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this entire video will be a market-wide update on current events, price action, predictions for the future, and we'll go from there. So it is January 20th at the recording of this video. Bitcoin is sitting at just under $90,000. What we saw over the past few days is a pump all the way up to $98,000, right up until this bull market support band level, where it got completely rejected and dumped back down. So this is kind of the level where I was hoping that we would test a little bit stronger and maybe even get into the middle of this band and hopefully above it on the weekly. But alas, that did not play out as hoped, and we are now down below $90,000 again. And as you can see, with Bitcoin, dumping like it is, we have altcoins getting wrecked too. Hyperliquid down to 21.2, ETH down now below $3,000. Solana's actually, holding up decently well, $127. Coins like Pump, they're not at their lows. Aster, about to break new lows. So altcoins in general are going to be very, very much obliterated as long as Bitcoin continues to do this chop. Like, we broke out of this range that I've been watching and tested this level and got instantly dumped back down. Altcoins are going to continue to get wrecked. And you can see that here. I mean, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is the weekly chart for Bitcoin dominance. And, this is starting to look like a bit of an uptrend again. So we'll see what happens. But as long as Bitcoin continues to just go sideways and chop around, then altcoins are going to continue to get wrecked. Some of the stuff that, we should all be watching is silver. I mean, look at this chart for silver, guys. It's absolutely incredible. I had a leverage position on silver, made a few $1,000s there. Still holding, so feeling good there. But, spot bags and crypto and stuff's down. Gold also, an insane chart, hitting all-time highs week after week. We even had copper have quite the move. And it's now, kind of bouncing around here. It's sitting at around all-time highs. The precious metal move has been absolutely insane to watch. And this is a mechanism of a late-stage market where people are hedging against the weakening of the dollar. So hedging against inflation, hedging against risk, hedging against the market in general, putting their money into safe haven assets. And so far that's working out for people who are heavy into silver, gold, these sorts of things. Even if you're looking at the stock market, insane weekly chart for the stock market as well. SPY, VU looking very similar. QQQ saw a bit of correction today. We were at like 630 and now we're at 611 testing these bull market support bands again. And this is why Bitcoin dumps so hard. Bitcoin is very fragile right now, and it's very susceptible to equity movements. And the Qs dumped, $20 and Bitcoin dumped $9,000. So tough market for crypto right now. It's one of those things where people will take these moments and call crypto dead. But these are the moments where I like to get interested in my favorite coins. Like Hyperliquid, I'll be looking to get a bigger position into, especially below $20. Below $20, I think it will be a steal. But once again, and I made a tweet about this earlier, the altcoin market is completely dependent on what Bitcoin does over the next few weeks, over the next few months even. Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin decides the direction of the overall altcoin market. Obviously, there's going to be some exceptions, but in general, that is how things will play out. So my expectation over the next few weeks is probably more of the same, unfortunately. We're also kind of just at the whim of the stock market. We're kind of at the whim of President Trump's tomfoolery. There's a lot of geopolitical tension right now. There's the Supreme Court decision on the tariffs, which they have delayed now 3 separate times. There is interest rate cuts. So the January meeting is now a 5% chance that there's going to be interest rate cut and a 95% chance that the rates stay the same. So the market's pricing that action in. And in general, I think it's either going to be more the same or continuing a bit of a downtrend into this kind of chop range between $80,000 and $94,000. So I think for me, if you're looking for specific trade setups, I'd be looking for $80,000 retest to long. I'd be looking at the $74,000 retest to long. I think those would be potentially great setups. Spot bags for altcoins if Bitcoin decides to test these levels again. Altcoins and Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is going to go up. Altcoins are going to continue to get wrecked, and that might present some nice opportunities for savvy investors who have some cash on the side waiting for waiting for dips just like this. Okay, in some market news, we saw Trove do their ICO and fumble it so horribly. And to be honest, this might just be a complete scam. So I'll break this down for you because it's kind of funny. They had an ICO where they were going to raise $2.5 million, and anything after that cap of the raise would get refunded. So a lot of people put a bunch of money in. I personally put some money in. They ended up trying to extend the raise, and then there was a bunch of pushback. And so they decided to scrap that idea. And then they decided to pivot from building in the Hyperliquid ecosystem to launching on Solana and building there. And obviously people didn't like that. And then to top it all off, they decided to, instead of capping the raise at $2.5 million, which was written in all their docs and on the ICO page, and that's what they were saying and promised, they decided to take 10 million of the $11 million that they raised and build on Solana with that money. So the founder has been doxxed. People are kind of witch hunting and trying to figure out if they can get the money back or if he's going to refund the money or whatever it is. But a lot of drama around this project, more likely just a scam. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. Hopefully there's refunds and I get my money back and people are made whole. But I have a feeling that, you know, as we've seen in the past, there's a lot of bad actors that do really crappy stuff just like this. And they are not prosecuted, they are not held accountable, and kind of just is what it is. You know, I clicked the buttons, I signed the transactions to move the money to where it was, and I got screwed. Sometimes that's just how the dice are thrown. So we'll see what happens with Trove. Hopefully they refund the money. This guy's doxxed and goes to like crypto events and Web3 events and stuff. So like, I don't know how you're gonna steal $10 million and feel safe in public. Like, there's a lot of crazy people out there, and people will do crazy stuff for $100, let alone $10 million. So we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully they refund the money, but this is just looking like a giant scam. So we touched on interest rates, obviously briefly. It's looking very much like there isn't going to be an interest rate cut for a while. I mean, there's a 95% chance we stay the same this month in 8 days. There's an 80% chance we stay at this level of interest rates couple months from now, and then it obviously starts to weaken as the Fed has shown the market that there's probably going to be more rates this year, just a matter of when. One of the really big things I want to point out is the Supreme Court decision on market tariffs. So if the global tariffs, if the worldwide tariffs get deemed illegal, I think short term it's going to be incredibly bearish because the market is just going to be whiplashed from pricing stuff in and pricing stuff out and trying to calibrate and figure this stuff out. I think that would present a really good opportunity for people to buy dips. I do think probably the markets would rebound after a couple weeks or a couple months of digesting that information and trying to process how the market's going to play out as we lower interest rates throughout the year and QE starts to flow through the system. If the tariffs get deemed illegal, we'll see what happens, but I do think it would present a good buying opportunity. We will quickly go over some NFT news. Not much has happened in the NFT realm. We saw some decent price action of some collections trending up. Pudgy Penguins, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Chimpers, these sorts of things kind of came out and did a little bit of price action, 5, 10, 15%, 20% on the higher end for some collections. But in general, NFT markets have been relatively flat. The downtrend's still intact. So NFTs, kind of boring right now. If you're interested in them, if you like collecting them, if you think the art is cool, I would check out the Memeland Captain's reveal. So these are down 80% from the mint price that they did a few years ago. The art for this is going to be revealed soon. It looks really cool. We'll see what happens. I'm still holding some, down horrendously on them. I don't think the art's going to be enough to save this collection in terms of floor price, but at least they will finally deliver on the artwork and some cool stuff there. And then in other news, I've been chosen as one of the 20 elite traders for this Ace Trader competition. This is a platform in which you can trade on with funded money. So you don't actually put up any of your own money into this, but you have to pass a test, and then you get a funded account of about, I think the starting is about $20,000. So there's like a monthly subscription involved, but there's a current competition running to where there's $1 million trade fund up for grabs, and 100 traders are going to enter, 20 of the elite traders that I'm included in, and then 80 individuals who pass the test and get entered into the competition. And then at the end, there will be $1 million trade fund allocated to a single person who wins the competition. And basically how that works is, once again, it's not your money. You're not winning $1 million, but it will be $1 million in which you can trade on that account and you can keep the profits. So it's actually a really cool competition. We'll kind of see how it goes. We'll see how I do. I wouldn't call myself an elite trader by any means, but it'll be fun to participate in regardless. Some coins that I would look out for, one would be Kinetic. So this coin you can buy spot on Hyperliquid. There's also a bunch of different places I'm sure you can leverage trade it, but this is a coin that I would be on the lookout for. It has had a really nice recovery from its lows of like 0.03. It went all the way up to 0.175 or so. And this coin is attached to a project called Markets XYZ on X, which I will link in the description below. And they're basically a perpetual platform. They're basically a perps trading platform where you can trade stocks and equities and different things. And a lot of the fees and value that comes from that perps platform gets rolled back into this coin Kinetic. This is one of the Hyperliquid, Hyper EVM ecosystem coins that I'm looking out for. If we get below 0.1 and definitely below 0.05, if the market really takes a downturn, I'd be looking to size into this. Also, Hyperliquid, very much looking to get a bigger position into this, especially below 20. If Bitcoin gets, that 74K, 80K levels, I'd be looking to take trades off those levels. Solana below $100, interested in that. There's a bunch of coins that I'd be looking for if the market takes a pretty big downturn from here. But for now, kind of sitting on my hands, waiting to see how things play out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the very next one, where we will talk about copy trading, different wallets you can find that are profitable, and how to track them and trade them. So be on the lookout for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.